The oldest firearm manufacturer in the world, not possibly even the oldest company in the world, all privately owned still by the family members that carry its name, Beretta. Starting out in the 1500s making flintlock rifles, fast forwarding today to luxury shotguns, but there's one firearm Beretta's made that's always stood out and caught my eye. That'd be the 92 FS. Development began in 1975, still one of the most popular firearms to date, recognizable by multiple military factions and forces around the globe, as well as Hollywood in some of the most iconic, famous movies, including Die Hard, Boondock Saints. So let's dig into this 500-year-old dynasty. Being over 500 years old, there is a lot of history with Beretta. Now I'm going to just skim through and do the highlights, some of the most notable Beretta family members that ran the company. We'll begin with Bartolomeo, who was the original had a foundry in Italy. He was just making flintlock rifles, barrels, rifling, most of your basic type of metalwork, and of course back then with everything was a little bit more crude than nowadays. However, he was an iron worker. There's a few notes, actual old documents that he had accepted that were government contracts for the Venetian military to make barrels for their flintlock rifles. And when it comes to military contracts for a gun manufacturer, that's the gold. So in the year 1571, Beretta had equipped the Venetian fleet at the Battle of Lepanto. Beretta had secured so many military contracts, they actually had supplied firearms and barrels for every single European conflict beginning 1571 at the War of the Guild to current day. By the end of the 17th century, Beretta had become the second largest gun barrel maker in Gardone, Italy. Beretta originally was under a guild system, so the knowledge of their gun barrel fabrications was only bequeathed to certain people and individuals and passed down. However, when Italy was taken by Napoleon, he abolished the Venetian Republic in 1797. In 1791, Pietro Beretta was the first family member to put his first name on the company. He began an exclusive contract with Napoleon, whom at this time was preparing his conquest, and became the new Emperor of the French. Beretta continued to manufacture barrels and other firearm components for Napoleon's French military during his campaign. With the Guild disbanded by Napoleon and Napoleon's removal from power in 1815 completely, Beretta and the Beretta family continued on innovation in firearm manufacturing, some of the highest top-end rifles of these times. Moschetto Automatico Rivelle Beretta, model 1915 to 1918, or the Beretta 1918 as more commonly known. Development of this firearm began in 1915. Its completion was 1918. It was one of the first submachine guns. Had an unconventional top-loading box magazine that was actually gravity-fed, so it would eject through the bottom port, similar to the Sten designs that we'd see later on. It was lightweight, 9mm by 9x19. Actually, there were variants of the rifle, and it was made fully automatic, as well as replicate what the Browning automatic rifle setup was, with the magazine that was detachable underneath in .30 caliber. In Europe, the Great War, or World War I, had ended November 11th, 1918. The entire continent was in rebuild. Mussolini had seized control of Italy's government. Mussolini wanted to arm his military force, and he was so impressed with the German military's pistols made by Walther. Mussolini had a demand for a pistol of high quality, and Beretta was tasked in development. The development of the Beretta 1934 pistol was in place. This plays a huge role, as for it will set standard for Beretta and their pistols down the road. Mussolini was so impressed with this pistol that he actually carried one constantly. Stay tuned, we'll get into the specs as well as range demo of the Beretta. Beretta continued to manufacture firearms for the Italian Royal Army up until the armistice of 1943 between Italy and the United Allies. However, it was short-lived for Beretta after the armistice because the German Vermont had actually seized northern Italy, taking the Beretta manufacturing facilities and using them for their own resources up until 1945. Post-World War II, Beretta continued to manufacture firearms for the Italian military as well as the United States and civilian sectors. This led to the development of their most popular firearm ever manufactured for any military worldwide, the Beretta 92FS or M9. The United States military was looking for a firearm to replace the M1911A1 pistol. Carlo Beretta, Giuseppe Mazzetti, and Vittorio Valli, all experienced firearm designers for Beretta, began developing a new series of pistols in the 92 series. The Beretta 92 was the original firearm. Production began in 1976, ended in 83. Only 7,000 of these were sold with the first step slide design, and 45,000 were off the second straight slide type. There are other notable 92 series pistols. However, the 92FS is an enlarged hammer pin, fits into the groove underneath the underside of the slide. The main purpose of this was to stop the slide from flying off the frame to the rear if it cracks, potentially injuring the user. The S signifies scavola, meaning slide, or sicurezza, meaning patent or safe in Italian. In 1985, the United States had requirements fulfilled by Beretta for the 92FS to replace the Colt 1911. A double single-action pistol, similar to the 1911 with the hammer. Safety selector switch, decocker switch also needed to be included in the specifications. The 92FS, following all the 92 series, had a short delayed locking block system. Pistol was gone through all sorts of rough environments, cold test, wet test, mud, jammed and gunked up, passed all of these. Incredibly durable, chambered in 9x19 Parabolum NATO. This pistol had the double stack magazine, similar to the Browning High Power. This pistol served as the sidearm for the United States military all the way up until the year 2017. The United States military contracted $220 million with Beretta for the manufacture of these firearms for the military. With the success of all the military contracts, and of course all of the high-end shotguns, high-quality rifles Beretta family has manufactured, which we'll get into in another time, Beretta continues to thrive. The 92 series is still in production, still upgraded with rails and new features. And just a great firearm all around. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe.